Crypto holders, what is up? Nobody's ready for what is coming. So much money is about to come into this space, whether it be through Coinbase or the Bitcoin ETFs or just the continued wild hype of meme coins and stuff around Solana. Crypto is looking up, but the prices today are looking down. And of course, that's always the challenge in crypto, isn't it? Short-term price action, recency bias can really screw with your head when it comes to cryptocurrency investing. It's so easy to change your opinion on things just because the price action has been slow or a bit down recently. Whereas if you actually look at the big picture of what's going on, where we're going in this cycle, everything's going to be just fine. We're going to be talking about some of that stuff today. Lots of alpha for you guys in this video. We got airdrops and all kinds of base stuff, and it's going to be a good time. So hang out. Let's talk. First thing, of course, we have to talk about what's going on with the price of Bitcoin, man. So far, we are currently just continuing to hang just above the previous all-time high of 69K, of course, very important area of previous price resistance. Yeah. And it's interesting. It's a very interesting place to be. We had this initial breakout, of course, before the Bitcoin halving. Everybody got super like, it's new paradigm of money vibes are going straight to 100K. And then, of course, the market has this nice way of moderating our emotions, doesn't it? Honestly, this current corrective phase we're in, I think was really necessary in terms of bringing down the greed, reducing the leverage, all that kind of stuff. You can't just keep going up in a straight line. It distorts markets too much. We already distort the market quite a bit with this move that we had on the run to 73K, to the extent that you can do such things. Now, this cool off period, it's welcome. It's fine. We're chilling. Now, what's interesting here, of course, the sell-off yesterday, we got down to $68,000, basically a retest to that previous high area. Coming into here as well, which is this very important line. Remember, we drew this line on the chart a while ago, as this is a very important area for us to beat price-wise. So you saw here at resistance, here it was resistance, here it was resistance as well. Now what's it operating as? Support currently. That could be lost quite quickly, so don't count your chickens before they hatch here, guys. Still, though, interesting to see how price has been performing recently. That being said, unless we get some real step up in price action here from the bulls, then we're probably not going to get that bullish MACD cross in a day or two, as it had previously looked like we were about to get on this green candle. Things can change very quickly in the market. We have a massive week coming up, for example, from BlackRock and friends who buy $3 billion of the Bitcoin this week. That could happen, or it might not. We could have a muted week, at which point markets would continue to feel a bit of malaise, if you will. Currently, of course, MACD daily still in a downtrend until otherwise reversed. So that's something to keep in mind. That doesn't mean the price has to go down. We could range sideways for weeks. If you have been in crypto for a while, if you've been in Bitcoin for a while, you know that that can happen. There was a time last year, it was wild. We ranged sideways for, was it like 6 weeks or something? I don't exactly remember. It was crazy, man. We didn't have more than like $2,000 or $3,000 in any direction for like 6 weeks. It was nuts. Crypto was dead. Bitcoin was dead, right? Because price wasn't doing anything. I'm not saying that's what's the most likely scenario here is, but hey, that's a possible scenario, right? Obviously, as mentioned, that 50-day exponential moving average, we got close. Was that close enough, good enough? Or are we still going to come back down for potential retest? Interesting now, though, to think, too, that if we did have a retest of the 50-day EMA at this point, that it's actually at a higher price than the sell-off of 20 March. Perspective, right? Perspective. Tether just bought 8,888 more Bitcoin. I guess 8's their lucky number, huh? So we're $629 million. They now hold $5.2 billion of the Bitcoin. Man, what a crazy thing, eh? Tether has become one of the absolute most successful crypto companies in the world. They take basically your money that you put into USDT, and then they put it into treasury bonds and stuff like that, take all the money they're earning interest and buy Bitcoin and gold. Genius. They're even investing in a big Bitcoin mining farm. Love it. Love to see it. Here's a very interesting one. I think we're going to see a lot of interesting news come out around this over the next few days. Bitcoin Archive pointing out financial planning firm Burkett Financial Services reported they're owning 602 shares of BlackRock Bitcoin ETFs as of March 31st. This kicks off what is expected to be a huge month of SEC filings by firms that own Bitcoin ETFs. So we are about to see who is buying the Bitcoin ETFs, which institutional players are buying Bitcoin ETFs right now. It's going to be very interesting to see. Very, very interesting to see who's actually putting their money on the table right now. You got to remember, we're still early. We're still early in this whole market cycle in terms of ETF money. I know we've had billions flooding in, but this is just the start of the liquidity tsunami. It's going to get way, way crazier. So interesting. Will any big companies make a reveal? That would be a real sort of exciting move. Jay Herbo says this is pre-recorded from 3 hours ago. Hi, Jay Herbo. No, it's not. Why would it be pre-recorded? You guys are funny. Anyway, my live stream is pre-recorded. Who pre-records the live streams? Isn't that the opposite? If I pre-record a video, I just upload it to YouTube. That's not a live stream. You guys are funny. Anyway, besides the point. But what if we see a big company like Google or Microsoft having bought Bitcoin ETFs? They could. Not saying they did. Yep, interesting. Of course, the big picture. I love this meme. The US dollar was a mistake. Time for a reset. Bitcoin is fixing broken money. What the US dollars lost 25. Think about it. This thing right here. Sounds there. Yes. This thing right here. It's quite funny. You know, growing up, this really felt like a lot of money. Having $100 was like, whoa. Of course, I grew up in a very poor town in the Appalachian Mountains. So this is probably still a lot of money there, but perspective, I suppose. But anyway, it's interesting that if I had, do I have an old one of these things here? Oh yeah, here's an older one. Here we go. When was this one made? This one was made 2006. So back when the money used to look like this and not these fancy pants new things here, this thing right here, it's interesting that had I taken one of these, buried it in the backyard, not to live there anymore, but put it somewhere in a book or whatever, and I just kept it till now, this thing has lost 65, 70% of its purchasing power in my lifetime, just in my lifetime. And of course, since 2020, it's lost another 25 to 30% of its purchasing power. The dollar is on a one-way trip down the toilet of history, but also purchasing power. And think about in that time, what has happened to Bitcoin? I know we've had ups and downs in our wild bear market and all that kind of stuff, but realistically, had you been putting one of these $100 bills every single week into Bitcoin since 2020, since the pandemic back in the day when everything started there, had you been putting $100 every week into Bitcoin, you'd be up so massively right now. You would have protected yourself from inflation. You would have hedged yourself. It's Big Daddy. Bro, ironically, has $100 bills on his table. I know. I started using them as props once in a while in my, it seems more ridiculous than it is, but I started using them as props in my shorts and stuff once in a while. Now they're just sitting here. So every time I make a point, I just pick up the money. Anyway. It's like $500 there. It's not that crazy, guys. Anyway, let's get back into it. Let's do a real quick shout out to today's sponsor, which of course is iTrust. Guys, you want to have a tax efficient way to be doing crypto. iTrust might be a solution for you. Maybe you want to look into it. You can bring over your existing IRA, roll over your 401k or other 3-number tax program. Buy and sell crypto 365 days a year, 24/7, like it is meant to be done. Dogecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, they got all the big stuff over here that you might want to be playing around with and investing in. Anyway, 1,000 different trades, never hit a taxable event once, which pretty damn cool if you ask me, because crypto taxes suck. And this is a way to help you have a tax efficient trading experience. Of course, I know what you're thinking. Just a Bitcoin ETF, Lark. I don't need all that stuff. Bitcoin ETF, of course, just Bitcoin, and Bitcoin ETFs are only open and tradable Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, excluding bank holidays. iTrust also lets you do gold and silver, real stuff, not paper bullshit. So that's pretty gosh darn cool. Link down below where you can find a description, in the description, where you can get a $100 funding bonus when starting your account over at iTrust. Thanks again to iTrust for sponsoring today's stream. So here is what no one is ready for. Look, I know the Bitcoin ETF is very exciting. We're going to keep seeing a lot of money coming into that, and that's really cool. Yeah. It's very interesting to think about how big everything's going to be. Because look at this line. This is this fun line I drew on the chart here. If we can match the expectations of that, and there's no guarantee, obviously, that we will. Charts are meant to be broken in a lot of ways. But look here. This is the monthly chart for the total three. So this excludes Bitcoin, Ethereum, just altcoins. Just altcoins. Just altcoins here, okay? So where are we going with altcoins? Well, I've said we could get up to $3 trillion. If this line is any indication, that might bring us up to, by December 2025, potentially as high as almost 4 trillion. Now, if we get to 4 trillion, that's like pico crazy top stuff, right? If it is 3 trillion, just a modest 3 trillion, that means we need to add 2.25 trillion to the total market cap of all altcoins combined. If that happens, and look here, look at this MACD trend, right? Bull cross happened back here, December 23. We've been trending upwards since then. If we look at a similar time from back in our previous cycle time, we might be, for example, it's hard to say. Again, it's hard to say here because we're in a weird place with Bitcoin price right now because we did have this new high before the halving, but essentially we're very, very early, because if you had bought coins in March 21, you could have got out of them at a much higher price in October or November 21. Just you would have had to do that whole 50% drawdown thing in July, June. Hey, that happens. And there will be, of course, massive volatility throughout this cycle. Okay. So there you go. Hey, I just want to mention real quick. The Can says, I saw your video this morning on Aptos. I proceeded to go and buy Aptos and tanked right after I bought it. What are you going to do? Of course, we're making these explainer videos, guys. We're doing them on basically all the coins in like the top 200. That's the plan. So, these are not recommendations to go out and buy those coins, as always, right? If you think there's something there and it's important research, then you should go and, without a doubt, do your own research from there on out. Okay. It's just explainer videos, give you guys an idea of what these coins are actually about. Don't just run out and blindly ape into stuff, because we're making videos on all these things. If you're buying all of them, these explainer videos, not like saying this is the best thing since sliced bread and you go out and buy it. Okay. So really be careful, guys. Don't just, because we're making a video on something, don't go out and buy it. Okay. We're doing explainer videos for educational purposes. I hope that they're enjoyed for that and understood as such. Anyway, very early in this MACD cycle, if we go up here, then we probably are going to go up here to a $3 to $4 trillion market cap for all altcoins, which means you're not ready for what's coming. If you think the gains have been crazy so far, you haven't seen anything yet. It's going to get so much more silly and wild. Hold on to your butts. Lisa, why is nobody talking about core yet? A lot of people probably will be talking about core pretty soon, assuming you're talking about the how's that, Bitcoin layer 2? I was looking at the website the other day. Somebody's telling me, guy, you gotta check out core. I'm sure you'll hear plenty about it soon. Anyway, we're getting off base. Stop answering questions, Lark. We'll save the questions the second half of the stream. Let's get through the presentation first. So here's the new thing that everyone's going on. I know you're just getting used to layer 2, just getting covered. Layer 3's here. Adapt. Crap, I don't want to go on layer 3. I don't want to. No. Stop it, crypto. What is this bullshit? Anyway, Degen chain is flourishing. It is a layer 3 built on top of Coinbase's base. Apparently meme coins over there are already starting to pop off. People are doing stuff, making money, all that fun kind of BS is normal. So there you go. Crazy stuff. Anyway, Polygon CEO says layer threes are taking value away from Ethereum, sparking debate. Interesting, of course, because you might potentially even argue a similar thing for Polygon, because Polygon doesn't use Ethereum. It uses the Matic token for gas. Controversial statement perhaps, but it's true. Polygon has always been sort of an Ethereum compatible side chain, but doesn't use ETH as its primary asset. Look, layer twos are expanding a lot, and they're not all going to win. And this is something I keep coming back to as a thesis, is where the layer two wars are here, and a lot of them are simply not going to do very well in the long term. We have another 10 to 15 that I know of that are coming out probably in 2024, which is ridiculous. We don't need that many. They're not all going to get liquidity. They're not all going to get apps. Most of them are going to be complete dead zones, zombies that the VCs get to dump forever and here on out until people stop buying because they run out of coins to dump. There will be very clear winners in the layer two space and really in the blockchain space more generally. And I think we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I've been looking at some of these new narratives forming up. Of course, Base is without a doubt one of the hottest narratives. And I think from what we're going to talk about here in a second, it's definitely one to be paying attention to if you're not paying attention yet. Solana will continue to be a massive trend of this cycle. It's interesting. Ethereum layer one, like nobody's really doing that much over there. Nobody's really talking about it that much because the fees are so crushing that no one can really do much over there. Yeah, I know there's still whales and they're buying crypto punks and stuff like that. But look at all the new stuff that's launching. Basically, everything is launching on layer two or on alternative chains like Solana. And why wouldn't they be? So it's interesting. We're in a very big fight for liquidity right now. Very big fight for liquidity right now. And you're going to continue to see that scaling up as more and more people come into the space. But then there is the one chain that is so well situated to absorb all those people as they come into the market. And that, of course, is Base. Brian Armstrong saying Base is scaling very, very well. Jesse Polak, developer over at Base, says, check out the impact the gas target increase had on Base. Gas plus transaction capacity went up. Gas plus transaction usage went up. Base fees went way down. Fascinating. Fascinating. Love to see it. Base is scaling. Base has wild amounts of customers. Sonder here sharing to understand how bullish this is for Base and crypto adoption overall. He says, you can generate a wallet within 10 seconds without leaving the Coinbase app. Passkey-based transaction signing. Never think about recovery phrases, biometrics to secure your keys. Trade with Coinbase Balance. Gas is paid with any tokens, and you can get on Base with your smart wallet. This is big. This is big, guys. Really, this is big stuff. You can get on Base with your smart wallet and go buy meme coins, go buy Airdrop tokens or whatever else you want to go ape into on Base. Base with Coinbase is 120 million current customers. What's it going to be throughout the bull run? 250 million customers? 250 million people on Coinbase? I wouldn't be surprised, would you? All who then have almost immediate access to everything on Base. It makes the Base ecosystem incredibly difficult to fade because of the potential for money to enter into that specific ecosystem. People are creatures of habit. Once they get into Base, they might go out and play around a little bit, but they're probably going to stay on Base. They might not be going over to ZK Sync and Optimism and all that other stuff. Somebody says, where was this? I missed the comment, but it basically said, I need to get the Coinbase wallet to be able to use Base. No, absolutely not. It's just that because Coinbase is launching this Coinbase smart wallet that's going to connect the Coinbase centralized exchange over to Base's layer 2 in a very seamless way, it's going to be a massive liquidity catalyst for their layer 2 chain. But you can just come over from any. If you've got money on ZK Sync or Linea or whatever, I mean, gosh, every week I'm probably back and forth between 7 or 8 different layer 2s. A lot of that's farming activities and stuff and moving through bridges and all that stuff. So it's kind of not necessarily I have to be doing that, but I am doing that every week. Anyway, pretty crazy stuff. Don't fade Base. That's long and short of that. Dope Zero Oxide, Dope Oxide Says Base will become the largest layer 2 by TVL by the end of this year. Coinbase are about to onboard 100 million users, and they're not going to be going to Arbitrum or ZK Sync. They're coming on chain through Base. Understand that reality. Next, we're seeing a lot of new things launch on Base as well. So this is Rainmaker. So this is actually one that I'm an investor in via a pre-sale. So keep that in mind, guys. Obviously, if you want to see my full disclosure statement, you can find out, of course, well, one, investing in crypto is risky. You can lose all your money. Keep that in mind. There's a risk statement in the description as well as the pinned comment on X. And in that same place where you find the risk statement, you're also going to find my full portfolio disclosures, all the coins that I currently own, plus all of my venture investments. Anyway, Rainmaker is an AI coin, and they are choosing Base for the upcoming launch of their coin, COIIN token. They say with over 100 million retail wallets, institutional relationships, and exponentially growing volume, they have undeniable momentum. We share the same vision of frictionless onboarding and an easy-to-use interface. I think we're going to see a lot more projects like Rainmaker just deploying straight on the Base because they know that's where the money's coming. Much like with Solana. This does not discount Solana. Solana is going to absolutely continue to capture attention for its own reasons. But the Coinbase ecosystem, watch out, man. Watch out. I like this post here from Lord Durden. He says, EMC is going to have an incredible, this is Edge Matrix Computing. They're coming to Solana and several different centralized exchanges. They need to go to Base. But yes, they're coming to Solana as well. This is an AI coin. So this is like an AI GPU coin. Mainnet has not yet been released, but it's coming soon. Yeah. Should be pretty good. I've got a big bag of this one, of course, by the way, as well. But it's interesting that we see so many new AI coins coming out. And a lot of them, of course, are going multi-chain strategies. These guys are going to be going to Solana. Of course, they got some centralized exchange listings coming up too. But they are going to Solana. So we're answering the call from our Solana fam, gearing up to mint 20 million EMC on Solana, matching it with a 20 million burn on Arbitrum. So they're currently on Arbitrum. But what's interesting, when Base. Arbitrum has been the biggest layer 2 for a very long time. But I feel like Base is going to come in and eat that lunch. They're going to eat that lunch, man, because can you fight Coinbase? Hard to say. Anyway, we're seeing great expansion. Of course, projects want to tap into where the liquidity is. We're going to see more projects moving to Solana, more projects moving to Base. And liquidity begets liquidity. The more people do this, the more people go to the chains, and the harder it is for all the other people to be able to compete. Quick Solana news. Solana's decentralized exchange trading volume for March surged past $60 billion, marking a new all-time high. Crazy stuff. Solana-based Jupiter Exchange continues to dominate index volume across all chains for the past 3 days. Jupiter. Now my third biggest bag, actually. Should have bought more at $1.30. I bought more at $1.30, but I should have bought even more than I bought. This bag has kind of felt like that constantly for Jupe. If we get a nice pullback on it, I would definitely add more to this bag personally. Not saying what you guys should do with money. I was just talking about what I'm doing. But I feel like between the 100 million Jupe incentives for governance voters, plus the airdrops, plus the LFG fees, the launchpad fees, it's going to be massive. Going to be absolutely massive. Of course, Zeus airdrop giving out 1% of their supply seems to Jupe voters. So that could be a pretty gosh darn good airdrop. We'll see how that works out. And speaking of airdrops, here are some interesting ones you might want to have on your radar. So the first one here is from Neon Heroes. So this is a cat mech game. If you like cats, you like mechs, and you like gaming, check it out. Huge backers behind this one. It's a free to claim airdrop. All you have to do, there's a link in the description, enter the code that's there as well. And go over and start doing all the free tasks, just simple stuff like retweeting and whatever, download the game, et cetera, sign up for the game waitlist. It's just stuff like this, right? Simple stuff that can get you in the running for an airdrop for free. Two other things I want to mention too. These I feel like are getting really, obviously people pay attention. There's 285,000 participants on this one, but this is for io.net, which is a very, very hyped up coming launch for an AI GPU network coming to Solana in the not so distant future. They want to build the internet of GPUs, the largest permissionless network of GPUs powered by AI. Cool. they've got a Galaxy campaign going on. Basically, a bunch of free social tasks. Come over here, share tweets, join the Discord, all that kind of stuff. You get points. There'll be an airdrop for people here. Now, being so diluted, it may not be the biggest airdrop. You got to keep that real. A lot of people are chasing after that airdrop. Maybe it's not going to be super big, but hey, maybe it's $50. $50 is okay. What the fuck, take $50. Cool, man. I don't know how big it's going to be. We shall see. These airdrops, you never know. You never know, but it's free to do. So maybe it's worth your time if you have some time to do. Another one is Plana. Plana is like crypto super app. So they're doing a 4-week Galaxy challenge. So come check it out. Again, a lot of free to do stuff here. They've only got like 56,000 participants. So this one a lot less diluted compared to IONET. Now, obviously, IONET's very, very hyped. Plane doesn't have quite the same level of hype, obviously, around it, but it could be a good one to potentially come and do. So perhaps for those of you looking for airdrops, here's 3 free options for you. Got to put in the work to get the free ones right, but it's an option for you. Okay, so all that being said, 26 minutes. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. We got a little bit, this thing's very, very effervescent, a bit cheeky, this one here. It's a Vichy Catalan, briny, salty Spanish water. Yeah, it tastes like a Spanish pirate. Don't ask me how I know what Spanish pirates taste like. Okay, I'm out of Perrier, as you may have noticed. It's okay, we're gonna survive, guys. We're gonna make it. So let's do some questions. What do you guys want to talk about? Yes, Cordy. Yes, as well. You can, for IONET, you can also run nodes. You can provide your GPU power, and they might get you a boost for that too. This is true. So if you guys are trying to get that IONET airdrop, that might be a really good thing to do as well. I've decided not to do that on my computer. I got an old computer out in the garage. Just probably just dig that out and do this kind of stuff with that, but I have not had the time or the energy to do it. There's so many other things going on. But if you have the time and energy, go check it out. Would you agree that if base does well, then op's going to explode? Not necessarily. Optimism will continue to do well, but just because there's a relationship there does not mean that op necessarily has to explode as well. If it's not capturing huge amounts of value for the op token, base could do incredibly well, and op's just going to kind of be there. You might think about Cosmos, for example, in a lot of their ecosystem. Just because other ecosystem coins do really well, doesn't always translate into more success for Cosmos's Atom token. That's my opinion. Mr. Hyde says Cardano will get dragged up with Bitcoin, but a lot of others will perform better. Not going to say that Cardano is going to be the EOS of this cycle, but I really feel like I was looking at EOS the other day. It's like out of the top 100 now. I think, or maybe it's just down near the bottom of the top 100. But what a disappointment EOS was, right? $4 billion raised, and Block One just went and bought 100,000 Bitcoin or something with it and sailed off into the sunset, leaving everybody else behind holding the bags. I mean, what a thing. It's interesting with Cardano because now is the time, right? It's the 3rd cycle for Cardano, and they have absolutely got to set out to play. If they do, wow, big things can happen. But look at the hype that everything else is getting right now. Look at the hype the base is getting, the hype that Solana is getting. I think we're going to see hype building for Manta and Avalanche as big games and stuff get released. Again, I know I shared this before, but I see a lot of decks and private sale stuff and all sorts of things coming across my desk. And I'm telling you, this entire season, I have not seen a single person building on Cardano. Now, I know there are people building on Cardano, but I'm just saying that's not where the money's going. The VCs aren't backing in, to a large extent, big Cardano plays. And I'm not, again, no hate, guys. I want your Cardano bags to go to the absolute moon and you guys to make more money to know what to do with. I'm just saying what I'm seeing. These are facts. You can disagree with those facts if you want, but it doesn't change the fact that they're facts. Okay. Jace, what are your thoughts on Render? Looks very bullish overall as a major, perhaps we can say blue chip AI coin, if we can even really call it a blue chip at this point. It's still a bit new in terms of being such a high market cap coin. Obviously, it's been around for a very long time. These guys are builders. They've been doing all the big things. They've been doing all the right stuff, I feel like, for being where they are right now. It's a coin that I would consider potentially buying if the price were right. Obviously, I need to cope on the fact that I didn't pay attention sooner and missed out on buying it at cheaper prices. But I understand why people are excited about Render. I understand why it has got the hype that it has got. And of course, now we're seeing a bit of a pullback across altcoins, especially post NVIDIA conference, what happened like 10, 12 days ago or whatever. We're seeing AI coins take a bit of a correction as well, but it doesn't mean that AI is going to go away. Especially, I think the use case very specifically for GPU networks, decentralized GPU networks and decentralized computing is a very, very real and big one. And we're seeing a lot of players come out with that, right? Whether it be Edge Matrix Computing or IONET or others, it'll be very high competition space. A lot of the other AI stuff that I'm seeing is questionable, let's say. And some of those make sense. Some of those I might even throw some money in because, hey, it's an interesting idea. Let's see what they can come up with. But I'm definitely seeing a lot of stuff out there that is just using AI to get the cash. Okay? So keep that in mind too. They're just tapping into the hype, which happens every cycle. Eddie says, will I regret if I swap my DOT bag for a Jupiter bag? Don't know, man. I don't know. That's a good question. I can tell you one thing, and this is not financial advice. This is me sharing my story. I certainly regret not pulling the trigger and selling my Arbitrum bag sooner. I wish I'd sold my, because I was thinking about it. I was looking at my Arbitrum bag as, man, I got to sell this thing. I don't know. We'll see what happens around the unlock, and maybe that'll get something going, because I was going to sell it and buy Jupe with it. Now, look, I bought a bunch of Jupe. So I'm, again, it's the third biggest position in my portfolio right now. I'm doing okay, right? It's fine. But I was really thinking about that, and I didn't pull the trigger soon enough, and I had to deal with ARB then going down in price, Jupiter going up in price, and dealing with the reality of that new price situation. I don't know. DOT 2.0 hype will come. I'm still holding on my DOT bag. We'll see. But it's definitely not getting the kind of hype that we're seeing the other networks get. Now, that can change real quick. A couple big partnerships, a couple big games, bada bing, bada boom. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and DOT's going to the moon. A road to a $5 billion market cap. You know, it's an interesting idea. I'm not saying it's going to go to $5 billion. I'm saying it's probably going to go to like $25, $50 billion. No, did I say that? I did not say that. I might have said that. Look, I was thinking about Aerodrome. I don't know if they're going to be able to maintain the dominance that they've maintained thus far on base. But they're worth what, $500 million right now. Jupe's worth $2.5 billion. And I need to spend a bit more time looking into Aerodrome. And I know. Then you have the problem, the ego, the cope. Like, yeah, but it's up like 15x in a month or something like that. I don't really want to buy that. But if they can maintain their dominance in the base chain, and I'm not sure if they can, because there might be other better funded players that come out and steal the thunder. We shall see. But if they maintain their dominance, and that's a big if, and if, of course, our bullish thesis on Coinbase's base chain plays out, then it could go much, much higher than a lot of people expect. A lot of ifs in that scenario, obviously. DQL says, I like these longer talks. Makes my mornings more interesting. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I know everybody just enjoys the just chatting part too. I really do. It's one of my favorite parts of the day, getting to talk crypto with you guys. Hope you enjoy the earlier parts too. Try to bring something fresh perspective every day, fresh alpha for you guys. Latest things I'm seeing in the market. So I'm glad to hear appreciating it. Okay. What is the use of Litecoin? For miners to mine it and then sell it. That seems to be the primary use case. Look, I know Litecoin's got some cool tech. It's got, Mimblewimble and stuff like that. And, it's interesting. As we were speculating yesterday, perhaps Litecoin gets an ETF that would actually bring a use case back to Litecoin, I suppose. I like to throw shade on Litecoin because it's kind of a useless coin, so to speak. The tech's fine, but realistically, there's like a million things better than that. But you can argue a similar case for Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin does 5 transactions per second. It's just the OG coin that we all know and love and has gotten the name brand recognition, all that kind of stuff. Litecoin's got its own fans and its own narrative and its own use case, and will probably do fine this cycle. Now, I'm not going to buy Litecoin. I'm not excited by Litecoin. I've owned Litecoin many times before. Made money off Litecoin plenty of times before. It's actually interesting. I bought a Litecoin miner back in 2017. I was so excited about it. It was like $3,000. It was like a lot of money for me at the time. I was like, holy crap, this is gonna be so great. And at the time, those things were making like $200 a day or something. I was like, I can't believe I got one. I got it hooked up, put it in the house, and I was like, oh fuck, we live in an apartment and this thing's like super loud. So I had to sell it, unfortunately, which really bummed me out. Didn't get to mine any Litecoin with it. But yeah, anyway, like Litecoin, man, I don't know. I'm sure it's going to make money this cycle because everything's going to go up, but doesn't excite me. There's a lot of exciting things going on in crypto right now. AI and super awesome looking games, man, and like wildly cool blockchains with super cool infrastructure and technology. And then there's Litecoin. But hey, it's simple. Litecoin's simple. It's almost like meme simple at this point. What is Litecoin? A cheaper version of Bitcoin-ish, sort of, kind of, not really, but kind of, sort of. Right? Okay. Let me see. First Rifleman says, I'm still DCing in render. If you want to buy render, anything below $10 is a great buy. Yeah, I was looking at $8 previous area price resistance, could be an area price support. We'll keep an eye on that. I'm not certain I'm going to buy a bag, but it's definitely been on my watch list of things that maybe I want to get it in. I don't know. Such a big market cap now. I feel like I might be taking more risk with other coins. But hey, I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, it's on my watch list. I'll update you guys if I pull the trigger. Well, that's a good question. Do you think that the ETH ETF, May 23rd, whatever, will pass the with the CFTC taking over? I'm not sure. Obviously, they clearly said the ETH's a commodity, and the SEC has said the ETH's a commodity. But regardless of all that sort of stuff, the facts on the ground are that the SEC is not engaging with ETF applicants right now, or at least they've not been reported to be engaging with ETF applicants. So everything that we can see so far, the SEC has gone back to the old stonewalling bullshit. And you might think, well, yeah, but the CFTC said that, true. And the SEC themselves have said multiple times, yes. But now they're trying to push through this like ETH's a security thing and trying to open up this case and bullshit. So maybe not, unfortunately. They'll probably have to be sued in court over it, and they'll lose because it is. But it doesn't change the fact that the SEC is not an honest actor in the space, and they're not going to give things easily. They're not going to do anybody any favors. Mac Baby says, I had $9,000 to lose on degen coins, so I spent it on 5,000 tokens of Aerodrome. Finance, crossing my fingers. Thoughts on the base play? As we mentioned, the whole base narrative is very interesting. And yeah, Aerodrome Finance has performed wildly. Again, obviously up 15x in a month. So the ego, for me at least, gets in the way. But I could definitely see this comparatively. If base really does get as wildly bullish as we think that it could, then Aerodrome could still have a long way to run. But we'll see. Can Manta, Jupiter, and or Injective give us a 10x this bull run? I would say any of those coins in theory could do a 10x. Jupiter probably captures the most value out of any of those coins right now anyway, with the launch pads and stuff like that. And it's interesting to think about narratives. I mean, Manta, of course, it's there. It's doing stuff. I've got a big bag of Manta currently, farming zero lend. But that's not a long-term play for the cycle for me. I will at some point cut that and put it into something else. Half of that was like airdrop. Half of that was me just buying off the open market, picking up more of it. Can they 10x this bull run? I think, again, if we go back to, maybe missed that point in the video, but if you go back a few minutes in the video to where we're talking about where the market cap could go, if we go up to a $3 trillion market cap, then yeah, all those coins will 10x. Likely. Well, maybe one of them 7x's and another one 13x's or something like that. But it's likely that all those coins will probably 10x in that scenario. So yeah, because we're going to go way higher. And again, that's nobody's ready for what's coming. Nobody's ready for what's coming is that we're probably going to a $3 trillion market cap for altcoins this cycle. And it's going to be crazy. Okay, let's catch up. Getting a few minutes behind the chat here. Couple more minutes, guys. We're going to finish up for today. Mew is a cat coin passing whiff, dog whiff hats volume. The musical chairs of meme coins. Round and round they go. Many coins push me to be conservative with just Link. Well, Link's going to do fine this cycle, especially if you got a good entry in the bear market. You're going to do okay. Sometimes I feel like I just need to have fewer coins. Gets crazy out here, guys. I know you know how it is. There's so many damn coins out there. Is Alex Becker a good person who follows crypto advice? Look, I've seen Alex's videos and stuff like this. We generally don't talk about personalities, but I'm going to answer this question just on the basis of every single person that is making content in the cryptocurrency space. Me, Alex, everybody else, right? Cryptorus, Altcoin Daily, on and on and on. Everybody. Okay? All the crypto content creators, whether it be here on YouTube, over on X, whatever, you have to keep this in mind. We are just a very small percentage of what could even be considered to be you doing your own research, right? We share our opinions. We talk about stuff. And yeah, look, we're all in the space. We're all looking at stuff all the time. We're all talking about stuff all the time. We're trying to do our best to make our way through the space. But, we're also often talking up our own bags. I do that all the time, right? I can talk with authority on my bags because I've researched them and I know what they're about. I know. Shout out to all the salty ICP holders who are in my comment section all the time. You're like, how dare you not talk about ICP? You're getting paid not to talk about ICT. Who's paying you? I just don't know very much about it. So we always talk up our bags because we know about our bags, right? We've invested in things for a reason. So I'm not saying that is a bad thing, but you just have to remember, just because we see value in something, again, we often as content creators and stuff, we get offered private round deals and all that sort of stuff. So you have to keep all this stuff in mind too. Again, full disclosure list for all my venture rounds and stuff like that, you can find in the description. But just keep in mind that if you see somebody talking about certain coins, no matter who it is, you still have to go and do your own research. Okay. And I know a lot of people don't. You want to come and watch a YouTube video, hear a YouTuber say something positive about the coin that you want, or maybe you just hear, oh, that guy mentioned something about that coin for 30 seconds. Screw it. I'm going to go buy it. And it doesn't even have to make sense sometimes. Like we make these educational review videos here on the channel. We did like Aptos and we got all kinds of stuff. Did Mantle and stuff. And somebody's going to watch that video and say, oh, well, Lark made a video on this. I'm not even going to watch it. I'm just going to go buy the coin. This is what we have to combat with, okay? So always have to do your own research. Always have to think for yourself. If you're looking at other people's content or going to people for advice, like the macro advice and sort of in terms of investing, like taking profits and all this kind of stuff, Alex, I've seen make some really great content, that kind of stuff. But anytime anyone's talking about an individual coin, whether me or him or anybody else, that's just the tip of the iceberg on what your experience with that coin should be. If you hear about it from me or Alex or the Altcoin Daily guys or anybody else, that's step one. Oh, somebody mentioned a coin that I now think is interesting. Maybe now I'm going to go to their website, go engage with the social communities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, before I risk my own hard-earned money on these things. Okay, please keep that in mind. All right. So that's not shade at anyone. That's just a reminder for everybody out there. Don't rely on other people to do the work for you, right? We're here to educate, entertain, sometimes share opinions, all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you've got to make your own decisions in this space, 100%. Okay. Grandpa Lark here. Okay. But it's very true. It's very, very true, guys, because if you're just buying something that somebody else has talked about for a minute or two in a video, you're not going to have the conviction to hold that thing when times get tough. Okay, guys. I think we're gonna finish up there for today. It's been a great chat. We're getting up 45 minutes. Gotta try to keep these things a little shorter, but I hope you appreciate the chat. I hope you're having fun. I see you guys talking to each other in the comment section. I know it's hard. We got 20 minutes of Q&A session. We only get to like 10 questions out of like the 200 questions you guys ask, but hope you appreciate the Q&A session. Hope you guys have fun, and we'll see you next time. Peace.